Hello everyone and welcome back to Get Us to the Geek, and this is the second part of Everything Wrong with Harry Potter. So cracking on with part 2, McGonagall saying that Ron and Harry are late. Also, let's just remember it's their first day and it's their first lesson with moving staircases. Oh, we just forgetting that. How are more of the students not late to this class? It's like, how are they directing any way through this? Have all of them got a Marauders map? Doubt it.
Oh, and keep an eye on the staircases. They like to change.
But also, how late are Ron and Harry? Because they seem to think they might only be like 5 minutes late. But everyone's sitting down writing, and McGonagall is already transformed into a cat. So maybe they're a little bit later than 5 minutes, but that's not how they reference it in the film.
We made it. Can you imagine the look on McGonagall's face if we were late?
Also, Snape's been very hard on them in their first lesson. Again, first year's first lesson doing potion studies. Maybe let's give him a little bit of a break. Snape also lies in this. He says that he can bottle flame and give glory, or something like that. Well, that's the liquid luck vial, if I remember rightly, and they don't learn that. And actually, do they ever learn that? Doesn't actually ever state in the books or the film if they ever actually get taught how to do that. He also says that he knows how to put a stopper to death. So, does that mean that he's a pharmacist? Again, makes sense because, he's a potions master. Or does he know how to make the Philosopher's Stone? But that wouldn't make sense because it's on the back of Dumbledore's Chocolate Frog card that him and Nicholas Flamel made it, and it's famously hard to make. Nicholas Flamel also being the only person that's ever been successfully been able to do it.
I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. I can tell you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death.
So this next bit might be a little bit triggering. So we got Seamus, who's trying to turn water into rum. What 11-year-old kid is drinking rum? I know it was said to help kids go to sleep, but nope, just a little bit on the nose for him being Irish. Maybe he's just got really bad upbringing, same as Harry maybe, you never know. But also, he keeps getting it wrong because of his accent, is what I kind of took from it. So, a little bit funny of thought here. Are the IRA just a load of witches and wizards who can't pronounce spells, so it keeps blowing up? Who knows, eh?
I rabbit, Harthring home.
What's Seamus trying to do to that glass of water? Turn it to rum?
I
Actually managed to eat tea yesterday. Before...
The flying lesson. This is the bit where Hermione can't get her wand to come up to her and Ron's wand hits him in the face. I'm not sure how this was supposed to be because Harry comes up to him fine, so why does his come up to him fine, but yet Hermione, who's been already made out to be a very competent witch, can't get her broom to come up to her? And why does Ron's hit him in the face? I know they're supposed to make him a bit of a goofball, blah, 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 blah. But why? Why is this? Leading on from this, Neville never actually kicked off the ground at all. He just kind of started floating up and it just went wild. Is Neville maybe more powerful than we think he is? Because if he's able to get his broom up, get onto it and just start flying without kicking off, he must show some immense power, or the brooms just don't work that well and Madam Hooch should be a better teacher and also have something there to protect the kids, because surely stuff like this would happen.
Mr. Longbottom.
Mr. Longbottom!
Also, I do find it funny how every single time someone's on the broom, it looks like PS2 graphics. That hasn't aged well. But I'm not going to criticise them too much on that because the film was made back in 2001 or 2000, so fair play. Something else that also don't get explained is the fact that Madam Hooch clearly says if she catches anyone flying, they're going to get kicked out.
I see a single broom in the air. The one riding it will find themselves out of Hogwarts before they can say Quidditch.
I mean, Harry doesn't because obviously he's a chosen one, he ends up being a seeker, yada yada yada. Why is Malfoy not get kicked out? I know his dad's on the Board of Governors, but he still should have been kicked out. He started flying, he was one that chucked Neville's Remember Orb. I don't know. Why is he not getting kicked out? Something else that I noticed was Sir Nicholas clearly said that he had all faith in Harry. He said he was going to be an amazing wizard, or blah blah, whatever he says. But if you actually notice, Harry and Nicholas say 0 words to each other at this point in the film. I actually don't think they have a conversation until the Chamber of Secrets. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually talk to Sir Nicholas until the second film. So when Harry's telling Ron about him becoming the youngest seeker in a century, Hermione just pops up and she's like, oh my god, yeah, you'll be amazing.
You won't make a fool of yourself. It's in your blood.
Now, does Hermione fancy Harry at this point? Or does she secretly fancy Ron? I'm edging more on the fact, especially going from the films, that Hermione might fancy Harry over Ron. Actually, going with the films, I'm more believing of Harry and Hermione than Harry and Ginny. I know, controversial, right? So, Hermione tells Harry about his dad being a seeker as well. What's also not correct, because I'm sure he was a chaser in the books. But whatever, I'll look over it, we're just going over the films. So, she says that she learns a lot of stuff from books, not the news. Bearing in mind that she only found out she was a witch at the same time Harry did, because she had no idea about any of this prior to that. How does she know so much about Harry's family? I know it might be in some books about the boy who lived in this, that and the other, but surely it won't go back to him being a famous chaser at Hogwarts.
Whoa. Harry, you never told me your father was a seeker too. I didn't know.
Why do all three of them just seem to forget that the stairs change sometimes? Because they look very shocked when the stairs start changing and they go into the room that's guarding Fluffy.
What's happening? The staircase has changed, remember?
Also, how does Hermione just know Alohomora? Is it just something that she learned prior to coming because she studied all books? Also, why is it such an easy spell for people to know? Why do people have locks? There is no point if everyone just knows Alohomora. Also, going on from that, there's not even a lock on the door. It's just one of them like barn handle things. It just goes up. That's all it does. Harry was literally doing the same thing with his hands 2 seconds prior.
It's locked. That's it. We're done for.
Oh, move over! Alohomora!
I loved the scene in Flitwick's classroom because after being clearly told it's swish and flick, what does Ron proceed to do? Swish and duh 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 duh. Apparently, Ron always wanted to become a drummer. Who knew that?
Wingardium Leviosa.
How Quirrell isn't fired, I have got no idea. He comes screaming into the Great Hall that there's a troll in the dungeons and faints.
Troll in the dungeon! Troll in the dungeon! Thought you ought to know.
He's a Defence Against Dark Arts teacher. How is he fainting at a troll. He should be the one fighting it before it becomes an issue. Surely this should be your first clue that maybe there's something a little bit off with him. How the hell does a 20-foot troll get into a human-sized door? This makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. You can clearly see the door after Ron and Harry come into it. It's just a normal human-sized door. Let's say it's 9 foot because it's in a big place. But clearly that troll was a lot bigger than that door. One thing I do like about this scene is that Hermione really does bring you back in. First bit, fair enough. I thought she was a bit of a bitch. Now I'm like, do you know what, Hermione? You've got potential. We really are the golden trio now, ain't we? Because she sticks up for Ron and Harry. She lies to get them off the hook.
It's my fault, Professor McGonagall.
And that's why I like it. Because you do have a little redemption arc for her. Even though people might not see its redemption arc so closely into the film. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. And hopefully I can get the rest of this done in one more video, as I'm sure there's not as many faults going more towards the end of the film, unless we're comparing it to the books, but I'm not going to do that. Just going to try and keep it to the film. Might reference the book sometimes, but I'm going to try and keep it to the films. So, have a nice evening. Goodbye.